Russia really raising the ire of the West after a Hamas delegation visits Moscow, along with an Iranian official. The Kremlin saying it's looking to negotiate the release of hostages, including 6 who are Russian. The White House suggesting Russia's actions could embolden the terror group.
I can't speak for their travel habits or with our conversations with the Russians. Our message to any other nation around the world is this is not a time to be supporting Hamas's ability to continue to kill Israelis.
And joining us now is Mick Mulvaney, former acting White House chief of staff for President Trump and a NewsNation political contributor. Mick, it's good to see you. Let's get straight to it. Israel calling Russia's meeting with Hamas's representatives, quote, an obscene step that legitimizes the atrocities of Hamas terrorists. What's Moscow looking to accomplish here with this, beyond just freeing these hostages?
They're looking to accomplish instability, Markie. It's what they sort of deal in these days. Russia's not a very big country economically. They used to have a decent sized military, but they're bogged down now in Ukraine. So they're trying to level the playing field against the rest of the world through making it unstable. Meeting with a foreign nation is not that big a deal. Meeting with a terrorist organization is. So that's why you're seeing a lot of the folks, including the State Department, push back against this. This is designed by Russia to try and destabilize the area, because when things are like that, they do better. They're trying to establish themselves as sort of a counter to U.S. and the rest of the West. My guess is this is not the last effort you'll see, certainly not the first, and certainly not the last effort towards accomplishing that. Yeah,
I know. Instability and fear is the language they speak. It's their currency. Robert Sherman was saying earlier, you know, in this meeting, it's Russia, it's Hamas, it's also some Hezbollah representatives. Who's got the upper hand here in these negotiations, Mick?
Well, the upper hand, I'm betting on the Israelis, if that's your question. But it's a very difficult situation. The hostages being present in Gaza do sort of limit the Israeli options, or at least put them in a situation where if they do what they want to do, they know the hostages are going to be killed. That's why the Hamas has taken the hostages. So it's a very difficult situation. Certainly, I think at the end of the day, the Israelis are going to prevail here. What we're worried about, Markie, is an expansion of this war. If it stays in Gaza, it will remain a small regional conflict. It's still very, very important, still very, very critical. I'm not minimizing it in any fashion. But if Iran were to get involved and Russia were to get involved, it would draw possibly Russia and what's happening in Ukraine into a larger theater. That's what we're worried about here. So that's what we look at when we see Hamas going to Russia, and more importantly, Russia accepting Hamas. Is it Russia telegraphing that they'd be happy expanding this conflict? That's what I think folks are very much worried about.
And with you saying that and your concerns there, how worried are you that Iran's deputy foreign minister has also visited Moscow at this point?
Well, look, when you say the words Hamas and Hezbollah, you're speaking about Iran. And I think it's important everybody watching this recognize that. When you say the words Hamas, they would not exist in their current form but for Iran. The same is true with Hezbollah up in Syria. So every time you say those words, it's really one sphere of influence. So yes, that's why we are concerned that Iran is interested in trying to expand this war against Israel in order to draw other folks into it, including us.
Yeah. Also, you know, we played that soundbite off the top. We just heard from White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby issuing that warning. In your eyes, is the White House doing enough to curb our enemies from aiding Hamas and attacking Americans in that region?
Not yet. I think they're doing a decent job, but they're not doing everything they can. Keep in mind, the president has said a lot of good things. We've taken a lot of really good actions. Congress has started to act. They've started to request money. All of that is good. What I don't think is getting enough attention is the fact that we've not even started talking yet about sanctions against Iran. The administration did take some criticism a couple weeks back for the $6 billion that we allowed Iran to have as part of that prisoner exchange. But what's not getting nearly as much attention is the fact that under the current Biden administration, Iran is pumping about 3 million barrels of oil a day versus about 400,000 a day just a couple of years back. That's $1.5 billion a week, Markie. So every couple of weeks, they're getting more than the $6 billion they got in that prisoner exchange. So there is more that the White House can be doing. I don't know why they're not. They have taken some really good steps up to this point. But if you're going to fight this to win, you need to come down hard against Iran. And my guess is they're contemplating that right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.